I would say Fred is a man of high integrity. He would be highly focused on his family, his faith, and I'd say the business would come after that. But his intentions there are reflected throughout the business and everything he does there.
About 1986, we were looking for a contractor to partner with us in the complete renovation of our skilled nursing facility from essentially slab to roof. It was about 20 years old at that time and certainly needing it. And we looked for contractors and decided that Wright Construction was going to work well for us, and that was the start of a relationship that still continues to this day with projects large and small.
My first memory of Wright Construction was tied to architectural planning we were doing for some independent living expansion at Shell Point after some recent construction with another company. Then we felt somebody bigger and more capable was necessary. They were recommended as a rather new game in town, but they were known for some quality and trust, and felt that they would be worthwhile to consider for what Shell Point was looking for.
So when we were down here and Peter Dice talked to us about doing the Woodlands expansion, at the time it was the biggest thing that we had ever thought about doing.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of site work. So we came back and you went out then and started trying to find somebody to help us manage the site work for that project.
Yeah. You know who I hired?
I know.
Andy Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to work for Wright Construction at Shell Point to be superintendent on the civil aspect of the project. It was around a $70 million project with about $35 million worth of civil aspect of the project. Took over the project management of it throughout the duration of the project. Took about 3 years, and that was kind of the inception of our civil division.
Fred started the civil division several years prior to the Great Recession. And at that point in time, I thought it sounded like a really not so smart idea to change the course of what was then a very successful commercial construction company. But in retrospect, it was really a brilliant idea because the local economies shortly thereafter sunk into the Great Recession.
I wish that I could say I was as smart as that to have foreseen what was coming with the economic downturn. But I would say that was really providential. I can't take any credit for that. We just didn't know how to develop 340 acres and build a golf course. So we hired somebody that we thought knew, and he did. And he did an incredible job. And we built such a great relationship in those couple of years that we did doing all of that work at Shell Point, that I went to him after most of that project was over and it was getting close to being done, and I said, this looks like it's working out really well. How would you like to stay on?
It was kind of a meeting of the minds, so to speak, for me to stay on for a while and try to develop the civil division of the company, and so 3 years or so later, still here. So.
Fred has started a method that he calls zero punch, meaning that they inspect the job before the architect or engineers ever do, and they want that job to be right the first time it's inspected, and there's not very many companies do that. But that tells you the attitude and the commitment that Wright Construction has to excellence.
I've never heard anybody say anything about establishing that kind of a repeatable and predictable quality control process. So I said, I want to do that.
People in the news, everybody said it couldn't be done, a zero punch list, but in fact it can be done, and I proved it. Unfortunately, I set the bar very, very high for everyone else.
But it wasn't until Jeff Sinatra was building a CVS pharmacy up on the corner of 41 and Pondella in North Fort Myers that we actually turned over our very first zero punch project. The regional director from CVS actually came down, walked the project, and said first time in his career he's ever walked through a store and never found one punch list item.
Well, the Wright Construction Group has been prominent in the redeveloping of our Inclusive Sound Convention Center, previously known as Harborside Convention Center. Their mark is all around, in and around the downtown area, in the infrastructure and improvements that you see, the curb appeal. Their signature is really all around and prominent in the downtown area, and for that we're very grateful.
We impressed the city with the quality of the work we did, the timing that we got it done in, and the fact that we saved them $1.5 million, $2 million. The whole process has kept us working here in this city for over 15 years.
One of the highlights of our experience with Wright Construction was a trip to Chicago in and around 2013 timeframe, where we, as a municipality and construction partnership with Wright Construction, were recognized nationally for high quality, best practice, and environmental stewardship of cleaning water and so forth. Same.
Exactly, that was the American Public Works Association's. And this project nationally was recognized as the environmental stewardship that takes care of the environment. As I said before, it was just a water quality issue in the urban. The whole United States has that issue that the urban portion of most of the cities don't have water quality, and we created a water quality with the help of Wright Constructions in the middle of downtown.
And we've defined it as 4 tenets, 4 pillars, I guess you'd say: safety, quality, timeliness, and value or cost. And they're not exciting, they're not flashy, but they are rock solid construction, and it's what we work to deliver every day. The culture at Wright Construction would be one that's very warm, family in orientation, caring in its orientation. Lots of long-term employees. It's not uncommon to have employees that have been there well over 20 years because it's a good place to work. It's a warm environment. It's a culture that's focused on quality, I would say, and great care for their clients.
And one thing about us, we are fair. We wouldn't think of taking advantage of anybody, ever. Yeah, our name is our bond.
Well, in the next 10 years, what we are really purposeful in trying to accomplish now is create a future set of leaders for Wright Construction that can start stepping in. Initially for Andy, and then hopefully within 10 years myself as well, to where we have the leadership in place that can continue with what we've already created, with the same kind of foundational belief that we have in what I think has made Wright Construction as good as what it is today. And that doesn't just happen overnight. That's something that you have to develop and nurture. So we're hoping that we can pull that off in 10 years, but that's the plan. Well, the one thing that I've always told each of my kids is that Kelly and I always wanted to just create opportunities for them, and it was up to them. You know, if they wanted to come work with Dad, of course, I'm going to be thrilled. And now looking at two young men sitting beside me, working with them every day, there's not much better feeling than that. Because I think now about how my dad had to feel when I came to work in the office. It's the same thing when I'm walking around the hallway and I'm seeing them interact with the other people in the office and seeing their work ethic, seeing the success that they're having and the respect that the other employees at Wright Construction have for, not for their last name, but for what they do and how hard they work. That's pretty exciting. It's amazing over the years when our family would show up somewhere. There's so many giftings and skills and talents in this group. I mean, when we come, we bring an army, and that army can do just about anything because they all work together, everything that we do. And they put their giftings together and they just make it all work. It's really fun to be a part of.
It's like a team in a way that sometimes some are out front and sometimes other ones are out front, but they're all okay because it's, you know, we're all together, we're one unit.
Sometimes it doesn't always work well, but you know, when you continue to work at it and improve, you know, the team continues to grow and you can accomplish a lot more together than you can individually.
Things are done much better when they're done together with the support of their siblings and their parents.
I think our family specifically is like a team because there's so many of us that when we show up, we just get it done. And we always win, so.
So like someone does something to someone on this team, they'll tackle them. All of them will just tackle them. And like they're there for you.
I think another way that a family is like a team is y'all get to experience the victory together as well as the defeats, and you're there to celebrate with one another in the victories and comfort one another in the defeats. So
I've definitely grown up right because they are always bringing you back to what's right. Like they take you back to the Bible and say what's true, or they're constantly there with counsel and they're constantly guiding you on the right path. So I definitely say I grew up right.
We're all grateful for how we've been raised, and I would say it's been done the right way. Certainly there were things that anyone could do better along the way, but just definitely very grateful for how we have been raised.
I would say that I grew up right. I can see myself implementing and using some of the things that we preach, even as we try to go get different projects, you know, through our quality of our work, our hard work, our dedication.
So the one thing that I've always told my dad that I was grateful for was the work ethic that he taught me. And it's the one thing that I treasure as I see my kids sharing that same desire to work hard at whatever they do. They, as one of them had said earlier, we don't do anything halfway. And I see that in everything that they do. They don't do anything halfway. And I just am really grateful for that. And we started them the same way that my dad started me. That every one of them at some point has been cleaning the office. So emptying trash and sweeping the floors and cleaning the bathrooms, and every one of them has started at the bottom. And you know, that's how they all learned that work ethic.
But I do want to end in saying that I'm so glad that I have a son as smart as Fred to take this thing over and run it, and to have a family and a wife like Kelly that is so good, and every family member is A1. I'm blessed by having a blessed son like that and his entire family. I'm so lucky.
Happy 75th anniversary.
They have given to our city and beyond, and I want to say personally to them, thank you so much for all you have meant, not only to me personally, but to the city of Fort Myers.
Well, to all those at Wright Construction, I would say thank you. You have been an instrumental part of Shell Point's development and national leadership. We greatly appreciate all that you have done, and I think that the premises that you have used to create your business and understand the customer is going to hold you in good stead for the future.
Happy 75th anniversary, Wright Construction. It's been a good first 75 years, and we're looking forward to the next 75.
Happy 75th Wright Construction.
I want to wish them the absolute best on their 75th anniversary, and hope they've got another 75 years in the pipeline.
Happy 75th Wright Construction. How about 75 more?
It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable to hear that that's been 75 years in this area. Out of that 75, I was involved in 34 years of it. And it's been good. It's been something that I wish him for another 75 years to do exactly what they are doing to do. Don't change your model. Do exactly the same thing that you're doing today. That is going to put you on the top, no matter what. They're doing a great job.